back in 2020.
Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Denver Broncos
and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Williams. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Play action. Now Wilson.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10.
And the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. On the left side, a catch by White. And they're able to get this one across. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
First carry of the game for Zamir White.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
The Raiders at 10-2 on the year. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete.
It's a big play there for Vegas.
61 yards.
I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur.
And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown.
The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Raiders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called, and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop.
14.
To throw is Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football, because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing, maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Carr. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Now Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Daniel Carlson for a Raider field goal. He's 60 yards down.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg, and boom, over the crossbar.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Williams. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory. Down at the 33. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
Yeah, I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Wilson. Got a man on the right sideline. That's Patrick. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Javonte Williams, his 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos have got it back to within a score. McManus's point after is good. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Here comes Darius Phillips out of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And, of course, this a critical game in regards to not just the division race, but playoff seeding as well. They are a game up, but a loss here could really muddy the waters.
And both of these teams want to clear things up about how they feel about each other and their standing in the league. Because these two teams, they've really been the cream of the crop in their division. So this game, it's been looming on both of their schedules.
After the sack on first down, Carr. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Mack Wilson. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this is drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much. And it turned out that it got into his head a little bit. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Williams will try again. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they'll see what they can do on 3rd and goal. Now Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
The kick by McManus is good, and that will knot us up at 10.
So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a first-and-goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ballgame.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
These two teams getting a couple of late season tilts this year. Their first meeting was not too long ago, back in week 12. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. And taken down just shy of the 40.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
They stay on the ground with White. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Carr to throw on 3rd and 1. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 44-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 44-yard line. Now Carr. And this one is incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now back to the ground game with White.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves them with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete.
Like what I've seen so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of lifting behind it.
That also a career-long kick for the veteran, Charles.
Yeah, how about what he just got done there? We always knew he had a big leg. But how about everything coming together perfectly on that one? Great leg swing, and bang that one through.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased, and they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
From the 27, Wilson. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Throw left side complete.
That's Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
He's fresh off that 3-touchdown performance last week that got him AFC Offensive Player of the Week, so you know that he was already on their radar. Now he's maybe even a bigger plane on their radar.
Bigger plane. I mean, he is the big dot on that green that they're looking at and saying, how in the heck do we stop him? They're going to try a bunch of different things, different people covering him. But right now, he's locked in and is in sync with his quarterback.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And the Raiders have got him.
It's the former Michigan man, Chase Winovich, who gets in there to bring him down.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's got his man, it's White. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
And that throw there going to put him over 4,000 yards passing now for the season, maybe strengthening his MVP consideration.
And you figure with still a handful of games left to play, 5,000 yards is not totally out of the realm of possibility. The way he is playing, I think he's going to get there.
1st down, here's White. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Carr going to throw. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get...
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
Here's White.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense, and know what they say. Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
Once again, it's White.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the 1st half of play.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal.
Carr. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Devontae Adams with career touchdown number 96. He joins Eric Dickerson on the all-time list.
And the Raiders will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And he's got room. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 60 yards rushing forward to the ball game now on 14 carries. So we have reached halftime here in Vegas with the Raiders on top. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. Phillips now from the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
On 2nd and 7, Carr. Open man, that's Renfro. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
That's good for Las Vegas. First down. First and 10 at the 41.
Going right side is White. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. I think they want to start getting back into this game. It behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards the pickup there.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 46. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 84 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson.
That's complete. It's Okurebunom. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he could break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. On 2nd down, Williams tried to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
On 3rd down, here's Mitchell.
And he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
They run. It's Williams. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. He needed less than a foot. He didn't get a whole lot more than that, but he did get the 1st down.
Well, he and his offensive line created enough push where if he was able to just fall forward as he was able to there.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Trayvon Mullen.
Still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Throwing now is Carr.
He'll get that out to the flat to White.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Give them 12 yards that time at a Las Vegas 1st.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he takes us just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. They run straight ahead here with White. Shifts by at the 15. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Now Carr.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
On 2nd down, they'll run with White. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown.
Zamir White,
his 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year.
And the Raiders will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is now 24. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
Williams going to get it again on second down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They run it again with Williams.
And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 123 yards rushing for him in this one as he starts to draw nearer to a 1,500-yard campaign.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 39-yard line. Throwing is Wilson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Trayvon Mullen. And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Wow, so wipe out the INT roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
Up the middle, it's Williams. Oh, it shifts past him. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Here's Wilson to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Alberto with touchdown number 8 on the year.
And the Broncos take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Now McManus for the extra point. And that one cuts this to a 17-point spread.
Makes the score Raiders 34, Broncos 17.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Phillips now from the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Carr's throw complete here to Waller.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 23 yards, the final tally. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
They'll go up the middle with White. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Colton Miller, former first-round pick, called for the penalty there.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Here's Carr to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, that interception at least offers them a glimmer of hope here in the fourth quarter.
That certainly does if their offense goes out now and makes it pay off by getting into the end zone. And if it does, then they get a chance to get back out on the field and try and do it again. Maybe they can force that offense into more and more mistakes and give them a chance to get back into this one totally.
Yeah, still a 3-score hill to climb. We'll see if they can do it.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They go play action now. Wilson. This is caught. And they are able to stop it, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to...
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown.
Javonte Williams
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Broncos have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive.
And don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a 2-score game. The interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw a football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw with this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off.
Opting to run again here with White. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. 2nd and 7, operating from the 34. There they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
Well, they sent the power set out there, and their job is to be man-on-man and move people so they can run the football. But that time, too many men didn't get moved in the box defensively. They end up throwing him for a loss.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as it comes with 1:15 left to go in the 2nd half. So Carr exits on 4th down, and on comes Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. The kick by Carlson is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
What a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out, because now it's not a total loss. Because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. The Raiders likely going to get out of this with a victory as they take a knee. So it's a win here for the Raiders, and it was Derek Carr, Charles, who was really the star of the show.
Yeah, he did a little bit of everything, didn't he? He had 2 touchdown passes through the air, another one on the ground, and that defense, they really had no answer for many of their drives.
So for Las Vegas, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year, and they'll hit the road next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, it's a loss that could have implications on the playoff race as they fall to 9-4. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings.